Now you know the bards and their songs. These are the opening lyrics in the bard song Into the Forest by Blind Guardian. They represent an ancient calling back to when myth was local and tribal. Time long gone for most of us, but there is a tendency to compartmentalize that period as other. That was the past. It doesn't matter. Myth is primitive life, yet stories seem to live on. But it raises interesting questions about what modernity even is. The hopes and fears of modern life. What even are they? Well, one is fear is certainly present. I used the term a boogeyman, a thing so dominant and serious in modern life that overwhelms. Social media. But boogeymans are not new. Seemingly untouchable facts of life occurred in the past too. Look at William Shakespeare's Hamlet. A focus is on the famous Alas Poor Yorick scene, but sometimes it's forgotten why it's such an important scene. The boogeyman in Hamlet is death. Death is the obsession of Hamlet. His uncle marries his mother and kills his father. He's left betrayed and seeking revenge through death. So death is all consuming and serious. But then later in the play, the gravedigger appears, and death is portrayed differently. Death is an occupation, a living. The gravedigger tosses skulls around like a grapefruit. Death, it's a living. But it's this scene where Hamlet is even able to have a full perspective, and we get the famous Alas Poor Yorick scene. Now there must be a reason I'm talking about this. Well, the gravedigger is a trickster, not the protagonist, but certainly crucial for the play to land so well. That brings us back to modernity, the loved trickster myth. They vacillate between severity and absurdity. They persist rather than transform, unlike older myths. They are loved, and love goes back to the beginning. Now you all know the bards and their songs. The bard song is humor, and so we introduce our stories today. Wednesday Addams and Monkey D. Luffy. Our protagonists do not present themselves for reactivity or duty, but absurdity. That is the trickster in the loved trickster myth. But love. Wednesday spends all of season 1 intentionally detached and isolated. She is above love, she says to herself. She tells her mother, Morticia, she will never fall in love, have kids, or get married. The internalization is I care the least. But as the story progresses, Wednesday is loved. When Fing is attacked, she cries. She wishes nothing but suffering to those that harmed her friend. When she has her falling out with Enid, she feels the pain of loneliness. When the climax of the story finishes, the one character that told herself she was above love hugs Enid back. The one that seemed to care the least cared the most. Luffy shows a different perspective of love. Nami in the Arlong Park arc is tormented by her past. Her childhood trauma being a slave to Arlong the fishman. She internalizes Arlong as the boogeyman, the untouchable. She decides that no one else can carry this pain but me. But then the moment happens. She finds people that she can trust. The Luffy help me moment symbolizes letting go of the boogeyman. Luffy says, of course I will. The theme is anything is possible. The love trickster in the loved part in the love trickster. Yet these stories do not make us cry, but laugh. They are transcendent moments in the story. I call them the peak, which is a reference in One Piece. The trickster does not transcend for words, even deeds for that matter, but song and dance, because that's what breaks through. The Wednesday dance is absurd yet profound. All of these teenagers low-key dancing, and here walks in as goth girls as if all norms and anxieties just evaporate. It's cathartic among the constant social pressure of modern life. The Dead Dance in Season 2 continues that tradition. Enid and Agnes are absurd, but unlike Wednesday are not rebelling. They're unified. These are two characters that have been fighting the whole season. It's song and dance that brings everything together. Then the Nika dance. Gear 5 Luffy, the sun god Nika, the warrior of liberation, bringing smiles to people's faces. In song and dance, even oppression appears light. And then the humor always comes back. The love trickster is loved, and sometimes excessively. To quote the late great Graham Chapman in the 1979 classic Monty Python's Life of Brian, "Will you please listen? I am not the Messiah." The crowd responds, "He is the Messiah." Both Wednesday and Luffy suffer from constant praise. Their persistence inspires people, and intensely. The result is deep irony. The very persistence that defines them inspires others that they weren't trying to inspire. Wednesday, after burning the painting in season 2, says, "Do not put me on a pedestal because I will burn it down." Luffy's response is a little bit less intellectual. "Heroes share their meat. Luffy wants the damn meat." Terribly pragmatic. Our modern myths reject their own mythology, but what do you really expect from the trickster? And so we go back to modernity and the boogeyman of social media. The endless texts and images, constant irony, media interspliced together seemingly randomly, no rhyme or reason, the pain of constant relational tension and ambiguity, it appears as a boogeyman, indestructible. Yet the love trickster broke through. One Piece content lives continually on social media. Gear 5 in the anime in 2023 on Crunchyroll crashed the site. Wednesday's season 1 on Netflix got over 1 billion views. Not millions, billions. And so even social media was revealed in its whole. These texts and images that you scroll through, terminally addicted. A goth girl and a rubber pirate broke through, embodying persistence, love, and triumph. If mythology was supposed to die, it seems to have been a false alarm. Myth lives. They did in the past, and they do now, just in different forms. And now you know the bards and their songs. Thank you.